Alright, here we have another game in from Theory. This is a game submitted from Theory, or I asked Theory very politely on his stream, hey, this was a good game, can you send it to me? This is a game between Theory, as usual, playing the Infernal in the blue in the top right here of Titan's Causeway, and his opponent is also a pretty well-known streamer on Twitch, jayxp123, playing in the red Vanguard. And these players, I'm sure, have met many times on the ladder. And that's indeed where this match happened, on the ladder. And this occurred one day during Theory's stream, I want to say last Friday. And again, I thought it was pretty good. Theory thought it was a pretty good game, and I said, send it my way. We got JXP's dog in here, and JXP is actually quite good with his dog use. He's always active out on the map early on. He's out there trying to do that damage. This dog has already got this meat farm down to a quarter of its life. And again, remember these infernal buildings, they do not heal. That's permanent damage there. That if that dog can be annoying and come back and do a few more bites. Now the other thing this dog's going to do, I thought he might go and chomp that cabbage. He's not quite low enough yet, I think, to justify that. A nice split from Theory to get that Shroud Skin on his Fiends, allowing them to tank just a little bit better there. Not taking real health damage, just losing that Shroud Skin in that creeping. And he runs away with 5 Fiends. Sort of optimal creeping. And JXP's over here creeping the speed camp first. Pretty good micro here. He's trying to line up that Lancer to get that maximum damage with it. Remember, the Lancer attacks in a line attack. It's a small, sort of short line attack. But if you can line up some units in it, you can do damage to a small number of them at once. And of course, that just makes you more efficient in your creeping. And it looks like a very standard opening, a Rax opening, I should say. I don't see biokinetics yet out of Jay. And that might be because he may be saving up for an expo. Out on the map with his Lancers, though. Managing to do some creeping, get that creep income. And it looks like Brutes here. Brutes and Brutes. Is that a second vault coming down? No Conclave yet. Any Ethereum mining? Yes. Now, this Ethereum mining might just be to get maximum usage out of the workers here. And that's because, once you're up at 10, the other two are not super efficient. You can rally over here. And it looks like he did pull at least one off. Afterwards, to just send it down. Once this base is up, you can send those workers down. They don't have to mine Ethereum that whole time. And that might get you enough for your Greater Shrine, which is what we're seeing here. Almost finish for Theory. And he's got a couple Fiends here. Not sure if they were there to harass. Another one sitting in the Lightning Camp. Now that's some good Fiend care by Theory to keep that alive. Fiends are pretty squishy, especially against Lancers, and certainly could have just left it to die there, but managed to keep it alive. And every Fiend's going to count when a battle happens in the future. And these Fiends are now skirting around the other side. I wonder if he intends... Yeah, I think these are mostly just out on the map Fiends, scouting Fiends, and trying to, one of these Fiends was sent to grab the health camp. A couple of them trying to be annoying. Bobs are just way too good. You can't just send 2 Fiends in and hope to get any damage. But instead, capturing this, being annoying. And I like this from JXP. Instead of sending all his units back, sending 1 back to deal with this. And some pretty good micro out of Theory here to try and maximize the damage he can deal here. Ultimately, I think not going to do anything as, there's no way those 3 Fiends are going to out-micro the single Lancer. But they're just going to head back out here to be Scout Fiends and make sure they know the timing on any expo to that base. And these Brutes here staging here, getting ready to maybe do some creeping. It looks like third base imp heading out here. Interesting choice other than this one. This one's a good, it kind of feels right because it's a little greedy. But I think this one up on the top is just a little bit more defensive. It's maybe can stay hidden a little longer. Although the Lancers of JXP are out here trying to get this speed, and I think they somehow got a sense that this was going down, and these Lancers are going to make quick time, and boom, it's just straight up cancelled. Poor Imp doesn't get away, but Brutes do manage to slowly lumber their way over here and chase JXP back. You know, I think JXP could be fighting into some of those, but Brutes kind of do well against Lancers. Lancers are pretty tanky, but they prefer to be fighting light units over heavies. And the Brutes just do overall, they don't do bonus damage to anything, they just kind of hit heavy. They're slow and lumbering, and they have to walk up to you, but if you let them, they're going to smack you hard. So Lancers scooting around. I think just trying to get some play for being out on the map. And actually we're seeing Shadow Flyer is an interesting choice. Maybe there's some Hornets out that I missed, but the Spriggans make a lot of sense because, well, they're kind of a perfect counter to Lancers. Since Lancers can't shoot up. They don't throw those. There is a Hornet, yeah, so maybe he scouted, or maybe one of those Hornets already did a little harass in the back that I missed. There is a single Hornet out. Looks like Biokinetic's whirring, so kinetic redirection on the way. And there's that hangar bay with another Hornet coming out of it. I don't see a mech bay yet. Okay, so these Hornets now look like they're going to be moving out. Although, there's a Brute here who's going to scout that. And yeah, I think, well, I'm not sure if harassing the building is the best. But shooting the Brute didn't seem like the best harass either. And now we've got a chase down as they're on return to hangar, but there is a Shadow Flyer who does manage to impact but not kill them. This is actually starting to look like a little bit scary army out of theory. In fact, the supply lead is now 20, and it's Spriggans in the air, good against those Lancers. Brutes hit heavy no matter what, and they're pretty tanky. We also see some Gaunts being added in the back there. No Plague Axes yet on them. And these trees have been cut down. I want to assume that was from a Lumberjack imp. Theory's imps are the best imps in the game. They Lumberjack for him. They flame on whenever they're about to die. And now we got some Hornets heading out here. Again, interesting. Yeah, so they were probably on a move there. Now attacking the imps. That first imp going to put down a meat farm and another meat farm. He's just trying to keep his imps alive by turning them into meat farms. One died, and actually a lot of those Hornets going down, a shield going down on it, managed to keep it alive a little bit longer, but there's just a lot of Spriggans here. A few Shadow Flyers impacts as well. It's enough to clean those Hornets up. And Hornets, you want to be more efficient with them. They're kind of costly, so you want to be out on the map harassing with them. I think Theory was just in a good position before the Hornets even came to harass. He had already had Shadow Flyers on the map. He already had Spriggans, so he had already teched to, you know, appropriate counters. Sometimes that's just how it goes. You have a plan, I'm going to do some harass, but your opponent's already on top of that. Now, his Sprigs are going across. Where are they headed? They're not sure where they're headed, actually. They're a little unsure of their strategy today. And it looks like Exo's being added so that this ball is not so vulnerable to the Spriggans, which is great. Another Hornet being added on top. I think at this point, it might be wise for Jay to add more battle cruisers instead of Hornets. And by battle cruisers, of course, I mean helicarriers. Now, this is interesting. These hero lancers trying to just get some kills and chase this down. They are getting some good damage, but not really any kills yet, other than a couple effigies. And the brutes decide to turn and fight, and the lancers are like, oh yeah, right. A few bobs here, probably on their way to do an expo, but they get turned around. One of them get chomped down. Oh, meanwhile, our sprigs over here also doing some harass. It looks like they may have been on top of these bobs who got overcharged. So a little two-pronged action out of theory. And again, he's trying to move forward here while whatever his Brigand's doing, they've just zoned back into the back here while the speed camp's being recaptured. And while JXP's done a pretty good job of fending off some of that aggression, theory behind this is got his Ethereum base up. This base is up, so he's doing pretty good on the macro. We do see Spriggans here once again on top of the Bobs. The Bobs doing their little repair thing, which just keeps them alive for so long. It's really hard if you're not focus firing them down. Enough time for the Hornets to show up. Hornets are really good against Spriggans, but there's just so many Spriggans. Even with the shield going down, the poor Bobs still doing their little hug dance. One lone. Look at how quickly that single Hornet can kill some Spriggans. But yeah, second Hornet joining and the Spriggans finally deciding to leave. I'm not even sure how many Bobs they were able to kill there. The best damage they did were on those, killing off those Hornets, of course. Still a ton. That's a huge Spriggan force. Couple extra Shadow Flyers to just help make those Hornets kind of squishy. When you contact on them, of course, lots of damage done, but then it does the debuff. That means any additional damage dealt by units like the Sprigs are bonus. Now, it looks like JXP's trying to get something. He's moved his full army out here. He's now dealing serious damage into the production, while these Sprigs are also actually out here trying to get those Bobs finished off. The ground force of theory moves up, and it's actually pretty big. It's actually here almost probably big enough to deal with this on its own. So many brutes there just waiting for their turn to get in line to fight the Lancers, and the same thing, there's just so many Lancers. The difference is Lancers have this long attack. Some Lancers can stand behind other Lancers and still attack. Not true for the Brutes. The Brutes can stand behind the Fiends, though, I believe, and attack over them. The Brute Force being whittled down, and we're watching Exos in the back slowly get whittled down as well by these few Gaunts in the back, and that's going to be a GG out of JXP.